Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what's going on, Boise State fans? Happy Wednesday to you here at BroncoNationNews.com, Bronco Nation News. This is the Winston Venable Show every Wednesday here at usually 9 o'clock. We're starting a little earlier today. Appreciate Winston for moving up his schedule. Today's the first day of Boise State basketball practice, and Coach Rice, some of the players, going to be meeting with the media around 10 o'clock. We'll get to watch a little practice before we go over to football interviews. So squeezing a lot in today, so appreciate you bumping it up, Winston. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Just getting another Wednesday started here, fresh week. Nice to hear basketball season start. I know there was those guys kind of crushed it, last year, picked up some steam. Hopefully those guys get rolling again this year, and that'll be fun.
I always feel bad, man, making you do both shows on the same day. I mean, we're 11 hours from you doing another show here on
Wednesday is my day. It's our day.
I apologize for that, man. We still need to figure out a way to maybe spread it out for you, or maybe you like just having one crappy day and knocking it all out. But yeah, we are a little over 11 hours away from episode 4 of BNN After Dark. We do have a lot to talk about today on this show, Winston, with the loss to UTEP, with Tim Plough getting fired, with Hank Bachmeier transferring. There is a ton going on, but I know you are excited about tonight. Your friend Hunter White's coming on BNN After Dark. Give our folks, our viewers here, a preview of if they are a subscriber to Bronco Nation News, and they should already have the link, by the way, in their email. I had a productive morning. The link is already in their emails. So if you're a subscriber, 8 o'clock tonight, Hunter White, tell us about your man, Winston.
Yeah, my boy Hunter, he comes from the famous Hale Street house that subscribers might know of after Brandon Thompson described where he lived. So another one of the roommates of the boys, of the bros. And now Hunter's a great dude. We played the same position. He took me on as a brother and really showed me the ropes like a lot of these guys did. But Hunter White's going to have some great stories for us tonight. He spent, good 4 or 5 years for the program, and a great dude, great storyteller. Looking very forward to getting Hunter on. And, he's a strongly opinionated guy about stuff that's going on now. But more than anything, he's going to have some great stories for us tonight of his time in the past.
Yeah, his social media feed can be an interesting one to follow there. So, but he's a Fiesta Bowl champion, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. Sure is, man.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Again, Hunter White tonight at 8 p.m. That is for subscribers only. We get into kind of some stories, sometimes stories that you maybe wouldn't tell on a 9 a.m. morning show. Not to say it's X-rated by any means, but, we have a little more fun, have a drink, maybe an occasional curse word, but we try to have fun with it. But that'll be tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts again on the current team. I know he's got some opinions on that. We'll get some stories, hopefully some more dirt on Winston. And again, if you are a military member or a student and you are on the free subscription, by the way, if you're an active military member or a BSU student, you get a free subscription to Bronco Nation News. Just send me an email. But if you are one of those and you'd like to watch the show tonight, please send me a send me an email and I'll get you the link. And for all the other current subscribers, you should have the link already in your email. If you don't, for some reason, please email me. And if you are wanting to subscribe, we had 5 new subscriptions yesterday. We'd love to have you jump on board, BroncoNationNews.com, and you still have time. If you subscribe today, by like 6 o'clock, we can get you the link and you can watch the show tonight, and you get the free Blue and Orange store gift card. You get some other cool stuff, and we'd love to have you jump on board, BroncoNationNews.com. So, Winston, I don't know where you want to start. The coaching change, Hank Bachmeier, the loss to UTEP, which I know most people want to forget about, but it's kind of a Sadie Hawkins Wednesday here. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I guess just, in order, lost to UTEP, I guess we could start there, BJ.
Well, I don't know what you were doing, if you had your family around, if you were with buddies, if you're enjoying a beverage, but to watch that game 27-10, one of the worst offensive, and I don't mean this, as a derogatory thing, but by the stats, one of the worst offensive performances since Boise State went to Division I. Only the second time in the FBS level where they didn't have at least 100 yards passing or 100 yards rushing. 177 total yards in the game. 10 points for a Boise State offense on the road at UTEP where they were 16-point favorites, man. How hard was that to watch?
Yeah, it was tough, BJ. And that's one of the things that's tough for like a former guy like me is, and a lot of the other alum is just the type of ball we're seeing out there as far as the pride, the passion, the blue collar, hard-nosed football. It's tough to see that didn't show up for the Broncos the other night. And I don't know any other way to put it than they didn't play Bronco football. And I think that was really more in all 3 phases. I know the offense got highlighted there, but I know the defense didn't have a great day. Special teams got a touchdown scored on them. So there's obviously the offense, but I think there was a lot of things going on that day that, have gotten swept under the rug a little bit. And I'm not here to just bring it to light. I'm just giving you my opinion on the overall game. Just all 3 phases, the Broncos did not play Bronco football and more or less got it handed to them by UTEP. I mean, straight up.
Yeah, and as I said my story after the game, and I may have mentioned this with Jay the other day, but like all you needed to know about the current state of Boise State's program is that the UTEP fans didn't even storm the field. I mean, that would have been a classic game in previous years where there was a field storming and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But, it was just kind of a nice win for UTEP. But, man, I was never seen anything like that in my 10 years here, man. That was just unbelievable. And it obviously led to some changes, which we saw on Saturday. Tim Plough, what was your I don't know what you were doing or how you heard about that, but what was your initial reaction when you heard? I guess we'll get to Dirk Koetter in a minute, but just guy you coached with last year. I'm sure you had plenty of offensive coaches meetings with. Can't be easy for him or for you guys as friends, but to hear Tim Plough was relieved of his duties on Saturday, what'd you make of that?
Yeah, that was tough, man. Really tough to get that news, hear that news. I got a lot of love for Coach Plough. I mean, he ultimately, Andy gave, his offensive coordinator the opportunity to put together his staff more or less, with Andy's guidance. And, I was able to stay on board and have a job. So very, very fortunate and very lucky to have Coach Plough be the guy that showed up there last year to allow me to keep working. And I had a really good relationship with him. So anytime, your buddy or, a colleague or former colleague gets let go like that, it's tough. But more than anything, it's really sad to see that those guys couldn't figure it out. Coach Plough and Coach Avalos, obviously there was, Coach Plough had a style of offense that wasn't working and he tried to make adjustments. And I'm sure Coach Avalos is telling him we need to make adjustments as far as the run game and really emphasize that. And it didn't work out. And there's the result, really bad product on the field and something has to change, right? I'm sure Coach Avalos had a little pressure to make some moves and have some things happen. So overall, it's really unfortunate for the Broncos in general, not just Plough. He'll be all right. He'll land on his feet. That dude is going to go tear it up in some league and some team. What's unfortunate is for the players, the current team for the Broncos.
Yeah, he'll at least be okay for the next 5 months because he's still got $130,000 coming to him to finish out his contract. So he'll be okay for the rest of the year. And then I am very curious to see kind of where he goes next in his next role. And we just never saw Winston. I think we talked a little bit about it last week, but we just never saw the Tim Plough offense that we were led to believe was coming. Really, we saw it in the first half of the UCF game, right, where they were hurrying up to the line and doing some things, but. Just this, up tempo, hurry, quick, multiple, spread the ball around, a lot of quick that we never really saw that.
Yeah, well, no, I think if you go back and watch last year and the games this year, even last game, I think it was the third quarter or something.
First drive of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's there you go right there. That's the Plough offense. I mean, it's take a shot, get up on the ball, go, go, go. They go down there and score. So, I mean.
But why didn't we see it more consistently?
Exactly, right. There you go, BJ. That's the part where there was obviously a disconnect of philosophy, a disconnect of, hey, this is how I feel we should get the job done. This is what I'm accustomed to as a coordinator. So ultimately, yeah, it wasn't the right fit, right? So they weren't just hurry up, spread it out, RPO. That's Coach Plough. That's not what we saw. So ultimately, you can pretty much, as an outside guy, you don't have to be in the building to see they had no identity on offense. So they were trying to figure out the new way to operate a Boise State offense. It wasn't necessarily Coach Plough's style. So I think that's why he's no longer with us, is that style was not a style that Coach Avalos felt was best for the team. And they weren't able to make adjustments and figure it out.
What's that like in that offensive staff room and just the coaching in general, where you hire a guy to run your offense and run his, Tim Plough's offense worked at UC Davis for a reason. He came in wanting to put in his offense, and then whether it was in the offseason when the changes first started or the last couple of weeks, but, obviously we said switching to that ground and pound kind of clock controlling offense, lean on your defense. What's that like, I guess, for a coach? And if you put yourself in Tim Plough's shoes, I guess, and being part of some of those conversations where what works for you and this is what you want to do, and you can't do as good of a job doing something else, but yet you have to do what the head coach wants.
Yeah, I think it's probably a really tough position to be put in, but at the same time, this is big time college football. This is you're responsible to make adjustments at halftime. You're responsible for all sorts of things. So you would hope that those guys would have the ability to figure it out and make it work. Being really smart football coaches, really knowledgeable guys, young upcoming coaches where they, hopefully you'd think that they could mesh and figure out, well, let's make this work. And I can't say more than what I can see from afar, and it just didn't work. So my guess is there's a lot of conversation and philosophy talk, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't make that connect. All right. So I think something had to change there, and that's what we saw. So obviously a tough situation for all those coaches. And I think what happened is you try to make it work. You try to make the adjustments. You keep on trying. You keep on working. You try different stuff. And that's what we saw as fans. We saw them working on an offense. And when you're working on an offense, middle of the season, you're going to have some ups and downs and all the ways around. So you don't want to be working on an offense the whole season. So I think Andy Avalos had to make a change.
Well, I want to talk about that change, which is Dirk Koetter coming in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors here. Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out, transcomservice.com. If you're looking for a new career, a new job, a fresh start. How about truck driving? And I'm talking everything from that big rig you see on the screen to the Amazon truck in your neighborhood. Becoming a truck driver is a very lucrative business right now with the pandemic. So check them out, transcomservice.com. They're a local company based here in the Treasure Valley that's helping folks all over the world. Jason Witten, the old tight end from the Cowboys, recently signed up his bus with them. So they're helping Warren G, the rapper, all kinds of people. So check them out, transcomservice.com. United, we'll go BoiseDentistryCo.com as well. That's my dentist on the screen there, Dr. Minor. Those are my kids. Full family dentistry. I love to have sponsors that I also use myself and I'm a client of and I support because I'm not BSing you. when I talk about them. Dr. Miner and his staff do a tremendous job. Locations across the Treasure Valley, full family dentistry. Again, your kids, your grandparents, whoever, they can take care of everybody. Check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. And United Commercial Insurance, they can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country, 44 states. So wherever you're watching from, they can probably help you out. Another local company that does helping folks all across the United States. So any of your liability, workers' comp, any of your business insurance policies, you may think you have good business insurance, but a quick call can save you hundreds of dollars on 229-8222 is the phone number. United Commercial Insurance, they make a business insurance easy. And Winston, we are broadcasting from the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios, and I forgot to mention this earlier. We've got all of our Cutwater canned cocktails here. I still owe you a couple, but we did just have some Bronco Nation News koozies made. So thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union for splitting these with us. We've got some new Bronco Nation News koozies. This is the first ever drink going in the koozie. I will hold off till tonight to open it, but you can see we got the Bronco Nation News koozies here, and we'll be giving some of these away at the tailgate. If you come by Friday, we'll be at the James on Friday, 4:00 for the pregame show. We'll be back after the game as well with Coach Riddle, and we got, if you want a koozie for your drink, we got you covered. So come on by the James for the Bronco Nation News pregame show as well as the postgame show. And we got your koozies here. We had several hundred of these made, so I'll save a couple for you, Winston.
There we go. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I know that's you don't care about the pay, you want the koozies. So I got you.
Gotta keep them cold, man.
There you go, man. We'll get you one, and then from now on Wednesdays you can have one in the evening during our show. But okay, so the change was Plough out and Dirk Koetter in. I think it was
amazing.
a home run for fans. I think Tim Plough being relieved of his duties was one thing fans wanted to see, but then they find out they're also bringing in Dirk Koetter, who I thought was kind of a fantasy scenario at that point. He's basically retired. His kid's on the team. Yeah, he's been around practices, but that's literally the night before on my postgame show what fans were wanting. Dirk Koetter in and Plough out. I thought there was next to zero chance of that happening. I thought maybe Plough would be in trouble, but the fact that they could go get a Dirk Koetter, I thought they'd go to a Matt Miller. Maybe try to bring you back. There were a lot of options out there, but he's just gonna leave that.
I'm letting that go. I'm letting that speed right by.
But there were a lot of other options other than Dirk Koetter, and so I was surprised that Dirk agreed to do this. Obviously, the conversation with Dirk must have happened before the conversation with Tim Plough or the decision with Tim Plough, because Andy did say he was the only guy for the job at this point. Who knows if that's the truth or not, but it sounds like he already, just looking at it, he had Dirk Koetter on board before he, decided to let go of Tim Plough. So what do you make of Dirk Koetter coming in to run the Boise State offense here?
Yeah, like you said, I was very surprised. I was really surprised that Dirk made it happen for the Broncos. I wish I was a fly on the wall to hear that conversation and what Coach Avalos, how he convinced him to do that. Because even Prater, and I think some guys know, and he was an analyst, but more or less helping with some scouting things and on the golf course up in McCall. And I think that he was very happy in that retired type life. And in order to help out in the way he did, it's like get that analyst role. But I think it shows how much Coach Koetter cares about the program, first and foremost, and not even first and foremost. In general, put a period on it. Coach Koetter cares about the program so much to be able to come in here and save it. To be honest with you, that's a big reach right there to make this change. Week 5 in the season, week 4 going in, and that throws a wrinkle in everything, right? And hopefully over some time, there's some consistency in what they're doing on offense, and that's what Coach Koetter can provide. And I think Coach Avalos said he talked a lot about process in his interview. In his press conference about implementation and the process. So I think once again there was something with Plough's style, right? There was something with his process through the week that led into the game that Coach Avalos wasn't on board with. So hopefully Coach Koetter's style, his process, his implementation is something that Avalos is 100% on board with. And Coach Koetter is going to be able to do it in a way that is consistent and those guys have a product out there on offense that you're like, okay, now we can see what they're trying to do, because the first 4 weeks, we have no idea what the offense is really trying to do. They're trying to figure it out, but now hopefully over time, they'll have something that can say, okay, this is the style. And it's not going to happen overnight, BJ. When you make changes like this, it's not just going to get – they could come out and have a great game. That would be awesome. I would not be surprised if they played worse. It wouldn't be surprising, right? You can't expect these guys to go through a spring, a summer, fall camp with a coordinator, a quarterback, a vibe, or whatever, and then change that on the drop of a hat and just expect it's going to be night and day better. No, and to have the thought that the offense is going to completely change is crazy too, because Koetter's going to have to learn the verbiage, the terminology that the players know. He's not going to come in and implement a new offense and change everything. You can't do that to the players. They're going to be so unsuccessful this Friday if they do that, and they won't do that. It's going to be a lot of the same plays. What's our best stuff? It's going to be a different leader at the top for it.
Yeah, a couple of comments were asking you about that, Winston. As a coach, what can conceivably be done in a week on the offense? Is it taking the current system and tweaking it a bit for Friday, or what do you see happening this week?
All right, I see the previous games. I saw an offense trying to figure some things out. I see this week they have there's no other option other than keep it simple for Coach Koetter, keep it simple for the players, and to go out there with some simplicity and play hard-nosed physical football. So what I can expect out of the Broncos is a 360 or a complete turnaround, not 360, but a complete turnaround from the product they showed last week, because if anything, I'm hoping that they're watching that tape embarrassed by what the performance was, and they're saying, we're going to go out there and play Bronco football on the blue. It doesn't matter who's the coach. BJ,
so it's more execution at this point.
Yeah, this is about going and playing hard and playing with pride and passion. It doesn't matter what the scheme is. It doesn't have anything to do with it. This is going to be more about playing hard-nosed football and with high effort and intensity and this blue-collar mindset. I think that we'll see some consistency. I don't know if we're going to see tempo, because that's more of Plough. You'd have to go back and watch, Dirk Koetter's offense from years to see what they might be like in the future, but they're not going to be like that, first week here.
Yeah, Clint was asking, he says, excited for Koetter. Offense was explosive back in the day. Anxious to see the schemes he comes up with now. He's ready for TG. What's Winston think? We'll get to Bachmeier Green in a second, but on Koetter, I mean, is it, we saw the slow it down. We also saw the fast. So Boise State already kind of has had, quote, two offenses. So if he wanted to go slow or fast, I guess he could do either one.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just, once again, as looking at from the outside at Coach Plough, I believe I'm going to play this card. I believe Coach Plough is the one that's the high tempo, fast paced, spread it out offense. I'm not too sure that Koetter is that style. So that's Coach Plough's style of offense. I'm sure
which is funny, because that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody wanted, though. So they're bringing in Koetter, who may run the slow it down, run the football kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Brady Hoke expects him to throw, by the way. The San Diego State coach, his brother, he has a tie somehow to somebody that coached with on the Atlanta Falcons. And I was reading the article yesterday in the San Diego paper, and it's funny how coaches will do whatever they can to get information. So he's calling old Atlanta Falcons coaches that he knows to find out about Koetter's offense. And he said he expects him to throw the football. But again, they had Matt Ryan back in the day there. So I guess we'll see there. But Perry says may not be much change in the scheme, but hopefully a big change in play calling. How big could that part of it be? Where even if you have the same plays, just somebody else maybe with a different philosophy on what to call.
I think that's more of what we can expect for the product on the field. Is once again, it is absurd to think that the Boise State Broncos are installing a new offense. I mean, you don't install a new offense week 5 of the season, everybody.
You said, that's why you have 15 spring practices, and that's why you have a month of fall camp. So to expect a new quarterback and a new coordinator in 5 days, it's just not really feasible.
If anything, as a new coach, I'm going to slowly implement what I believe in, slowly implement my style, my philosophy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with what I got first. And that's, what do these guys know? What are they comfortable with? And what do they do well? And if they're trying to think about new words, new verbiage, new plays, that they're not going to get any better. They just worked on all these reps of plays. They're not going to just switch the plays up. Makes absolutely no sense. 100% agree. Play calling, all those type of things, in-game management. Later on in a few weeks, how the Broncos are preparing that week might change a little bit, right?
They have the bye week coming up, could do some things.
Yeah, all that type of stuff. But to think that it's going to be a drastic change, that would be crazy for them to have drastic changes that they assume or expect to be successful.
Now, they could have some drastic changes because the offense will look different in terms of Taylon Green running the offense instead of Hank Bachmeier. So we'll get to that in a second. Jordan says, can we get Coach Pete to now fill Dirk's analyst spot? Coach Pete working on TV, a future guest of BNN After Dark, by the way. I'm going to keep the pressure on Winston to get that done at some point here. Koetter was tasked with this exact responsibility in the NFL, had to learn Kyle Shanahan's offense and Mike Mularkey's. Let's see what else we got here. Tempo and rhythm, not limited to passing. Establishing a consistent running game can give an offense running as well. And how about this? Ironically, Dirk Koetter's last win as Bronco head coach was against UTEP in the Humanitarian Bowl. Double O'Neill says the new coach's football IQ vastly superior in that regard. People still loving the Winston Superman tackle against Fresno State. Always love trying to pump you up a little bit, Winston, there. I do want to talk Taylon Green for the last couple minutes here and how that's going to change. I do have a couple more quick sponsors to thank, though. The Blue and Orange Store. Check them out, theblueandorange.store.com. They are one of our great sponsors here, and they had an event with JL Skinner last week. Hopefully you made it out to that. But check out theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping on any order over $40. That's right. Make a $40 order. Get free shipping at theblueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets. Shop Ridley's.com. 13 Idaho locations, the Skip app, the home delivery, all that great stuff. Check them out at shopridleys.com. And Bauscher Real Estate, the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Matt Bauscher, give him a call. Check him out online, bauscherrealestate.com. No home is too big or too small for our friend Matt Bauscher. And I did have someone asking about the koozies on here, if I can ship them or if they can buy them. I will work on that. Yeah, I'm liking the koozies here, man. They're nice koozies. Thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union for helping us get these done. And we'll see what we can do in terms of mailing you one. If you're a subscriber, maybe we'll figure out something. But okay, in the final couple minutes here, Winston, and we will keep this going tonight. I want to get you and Johnny's talk about, we got Hunter White coming on, but we'll have some time tonight too, maybe to also just kind of get into this whole Bachmeier transferring, the fan criticism, all that stuff. I'd love to get you and Johnny's thoughts when the beverages are flowing tonight, because I think there is some interesting thoughts there. Hank Bachmeier's mom came out yesterday and had a couple social media posts, and she was accusing the fans of booing her son, back a couple games ago. So obviously a lot to get there, and not in 4 minutes here. But what was your take when you saw the news that Hank Bachmeier, the 4-year senior starting quarterback, somebody that I'm sure you know pretty well, decided that he wanted to leave the program and transfer?
Yeah, once again, I was sad, man. Just sad, to be honest with you. Really unfortunate news for Hank and, for the program. I just, BJ, I think you asked me when you text me something, and my response was I'd be more concerned about the players. And when you throw these wrinkles in, I understand you have to do what's best for the program, and you do. That is ultimately the job of the head coach, put those guys in the best situation. And it just is tough. It's a tough deal where guys get affected by this. And when Plough left, it wasn't that surprising to me that Hank followed. And to be honest, it's one of those things where if a couple more guys were to follow Hank, it wouldn't be surprising, because that's just kind of, it's like gives guys courage to do something maybe they were already thinking about doing. So I think it's just unfortunate, really sad for Hank, because, I love that guy. And shoot, man, he played a lot of games for the Broncos, and he played hurt, and he took some shots, and it's just unfortunate that it didn't work out. And I'm a former Bronco. I love that place. I got a lot of pride and passion for Boise State. So when people don't have a great experience, it like hits me hard, man. And that, I care about these guys. So that was tough.
What do you make of a lot of the fans saying he's a quitter, that he's given up on the team middle of the season here?
I mean, they are not Hank Bachmeier, and
they didn't have this rule back when you played, man. You could play in 4 games and still redshirt. Things might have been.
I'll tell you what I think about it, BJ. It's who cares what anybody else really thinks, and nobody's in Hank Bachmeier's position. Nobody is in any of these college coaches' positions. How many college coaches bail on their programs? How many college players are transferring to different schools? It's what you can do. I'm not here to judge whether anything is right, wrong. Do you value how you go out, how you don't? I'm pretty sure I don't view myself as a quitter, and I quit in 2017, the Toronto Argonauts during training camp. I text and then talk to the GM and head coach and had to make a choice for myself and leave the Canadian Football League. I had to make a hard choice and quit last year as a coach for the Boise State Broncos. And that was a really hard decision, but it was a decision that was best for me. And I don't think I'm building the habits of being a quitter, BJ. And I don't think Hank Bachmeier is either. So I hope people just leave that dude alone and stay out of his business. And I wish Hank all the best, man. I think he's going to have a heck of a couple years coming up.
Now, I do have a suggestion for tonight. Apparently, there's a Twitter feud going on with Hunter White and Alex Guerrero. I was curious if we maybe can go ahead and get both of them on tonight. Jordan's wanting to know if we can jump in, if you want to weigh in on that battle there, or if maybe we could let them hash it out on the air tonight. Should I reach out to Alex? What do you think?
Hey, it'd be intense if you did. It'd be intense. It'd be intense if he agreed. So if you want to have a great show, go ahead, man. Reach out.
Or a real short show, one or the other.
Either way.
Oh man, well, great stuff, Winston. We appreciate it.
The timing on that's pretty funny.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying the timing on that. I previously wanted Hunter White because he's a really good friend of mine to jump on the show. And I had talked to him weeks back and he was traveling. I said, hey, the week you're back traveling, let's do it. And then, unfortunately the Broncos take a tough loss. And hey, that's what's happening, BJ. It's crazy is you got former Broncos battling each other and talking mess with each other. That's how much of a mess this is. So hopefully we can all tighten this thing back together, become that unit that we are on and off the field and get some wins.
Well, we'll start it tonight. Winston, John Mallory, myself, Hunter White will join us. We'll get some of his opinions. We'll see where the conversation goes. Maybe we'll get into the Alex Guerrero stuff. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But if that's not a tease, I don't know what is. Go ahead and subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. You can watch tonight's show. If you are a subscriber, you should have the link already sent to your email. It's a YouTube link, which, by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, as more than 100 of you are live right now, please go ahead and click that subscribe button on YouTube. We'd love to have you on YouTube, and that's where we post all these live shows. The comment section, the chat is easiest through YouTube, and then all of the press conference videos and things. We're talking to Keith Bonifat today as one of the coaches, so we'll be checking in with him and posting that video to YouTube. So appreciate it, Winston, as always. 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be looking forward to it with Hunter and getting you and Johnny's opinions on everything that's been going on the last week. It's going to be a fun show. I missed last week. You guys held down the fort without me. But I'm back, so looking forward to tonight. That means when the grandpa's back, you can't be. We've got to rein things in a little bit tonight. You guys had fun without me.
You had that headset on, and you were watching the game you were watching the show from the ball game. Checking in.
I'm not gonna lie. I turned it on just to make sure you guys were on the air. That it actually started okay for 30 seconds, and then I didn't watch till I guess midnight or maybe even the next morning. You held down. You did a good job. It was a good job, and maybe we get to a point where I don't even need to be on these shows. I would love for you guys just take it and run it. But for now, helping out and someone said they suggest either Hunter or Alex, but not both. Don't want a train wreck. Maybe we do. Who knows? We got Hunter White. We're looking forward to having him tonight. I know he's not the most well-known Bronco. I'm not trying to say it negatively towards him, but he didn't go on to the pro career some of that you guys did, but he's certainly a very vocal on social media and was a contributor for you guys, and I think he's going to bring it tonight, man.
People that are tuned into all three phases, they know Hunter White. He was like the special teams demon when you used to have a 3-man wedge, he used to go bust through 3-man wedges. So if you know anything about special teams in Boise State back in the day, you know who Hunter White is.
Well, 8 o'clock tonight, you can hear from Hunter. Looking forward to it, Winston. Have a great day, man. We'll talk to you in like 11 hours.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you soon.
There he is, Winston Venable. He'll join me tonight, 8 o'clock with John Mallory on BNN After Dark. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.